So here are 15 things that Rainbow Six was forced to remove from the game. So number 1, we have JAGER and BANDIT ACOG. As you guys all know, we've been playing this game for a very long time, and if you were lucky enough to experience this was an era. I mean, all of our Siege creators and streamers just loved watching this. It was probably one of the most iconic things that happened inside Siege, but unfortunately it became way too strong. You know, like as you can see, like people were just getting dogged on, and it wasn't very balanced for the defense. So Siege was forced to remove this, but I don't see this mode, like these ACOG ever coming back. If they were, I would assume it'd just be in the special mode. And coming at number 2, we have night mode in Rainbow Six. So as we guys, I think we only know that Favela is probably the only map in 2022 that has is a kind of a night mode. But you guys remember, like the lighting was different, outside looked different as well. But I think you guys remember like a coastline. You guys can see on house right now, it's just very, it was definitely nostalgic. I'm gonna definitely miss night maps a little bit, but this was a problem at times that people's lighting were just so bad. And overall, I think Ubisoft saw it was more consistent to just have only day mode in the game. So let me know if you guys would want night modes back. Coming at number 3 that Siege had to remove was GOYO shields. As you guys all know, GOYO shield only have the tank now. That way they're only fire nowadays, but back then GOYO used to have 3 shields. I think you guys all remember that. It used to be it was so like, it made every bomb site feel defender sided. It was a lot of utility for the attackers to clear, and it was a little bit easier for the defense to just hold on to certain areas because they had shields almost everywhere. My opinion, I think this made comp a little bit harder as well, but obviously with the shields being gone, I think it became a little bit easier, even though Flores is in the game now. Personally, I think GOYO should have kept his shields, but I think it's for the better of just the utility meta slowly fading away. Coming at number 4, we have the old pistol recoil. As you guys remember, that's old pistols, the recoil used to go up a little bit more, but nowadays they changed the animations because it's a little bit harder to see your enemies, which I think was a good change. Coming at number 5, we have the instant GLAZ thermal scope. This was his first buff, I believe. This was when they made it so everybody on your screen, or when you ADS, was already glowing yellow, especially with smoke. So basically it was just a one-way cheat code, and it is, like, we all know that it was so broken at the beginning. It was so OP, but they eventually made it to stand still nowadays. So the GLAZ thermal is okay, but it's not as strong as it used to be. Coming at number 6, we have the most iconic things in Siege, the old quick lean, mostly known as the Bolo lean. This is when leaning was a little bit quicker and more smoother, but nowadays it's a little bit slower, but it's still pretty decent. But people were able to abuse the peeker's advantage, and you were able to see the enemy a little bit more than the others when you're getting quick peeked on. This was a very kind of almost a problem in Siege. It was really fun though. I really kind of hope they kept it in, but obviously, you know, with the online Siege, it would have been people would have been at disadvantage a lot. And let me know what you guys think, if Siege should have kept in the old quick lean, or maybe they should keep it the same. And coming at number 7, we have the old shock drones that used to do 10 damage each. You're actually able to kill someone if you hit them 10 times, but hitting them for 10 damage, especially in a game like Siege where health regeneration and respawns are very limited, it was kind of a lot on somebody to lose 10 HP. But you were also able to kill down enemies very, very easily, and you were actually able to finish off people too. But shock drones nowadays, I think they're better off for utility, obviously, but back in the day you were able to actually kill someone. But this was kind of an annoying change. But I think this was for the better. I think Twitch nowadays is a little bit better with the infinite range and infinite utility rather than 10 damage a shock. Let me know what you guys think. They should have kept the Twitch damage, or maybe keep it the same how it is today. Coming at number 8, we have all the Siege map reworks. As you guys know, a lot of these old maps hold a lot of memories. Some of the parts of the maps were a little bit too irrelevant. They were imbalanced. But nowadays, with all these map reworks, it's a little bit more balanced on the defense and attacker sided. So rooms are being used a little bit more, like you know, on border. Bathroom used to never be played. It's actually one of the most played bomb sites in the map now, which is pretty crazy. But I guarantee you a lot of these old maps are never going to come back to the game. Coming at number 9, we have BLACKBEARD shield. As you guys remember, we used to have 800 HP. It was super broken in a lot of gunfights. Thank God they actually removed this. So they were actually forced to remove this, but I think it was for the better. Nowadays, BLACKBEARD just has a saran wrap around his shield, but that's okay because I don't see him being viable in a game where it's one-shot headshot. But who knows, if that ever changes, I think BLACKBEARD would be a little better. Coming at number 10, we have the Ash ACOG, one of the most iconic sites in Siege. As you know, the Ash rushes, being able to be at 3-speed and just fry everybody with the R4C. Nowadays, R4C is probably one of the least picked weapons in the game now, just because they took away its good recoil and the ACOG. But I think this was definitely I was really happy I was able to play Siege during this time. As you guys know, Bolo, Skittles, all the pro players were just nuts with this weapon. And we actually had a mode where Ash ACOG actually came back for a few days for the event, but obviously it's not going to be a permanent change. Let me know what you guys think, if it should come back. But I don't see Siege adding this back anytime soon, just because of the 1.5 scopes. Coming at number 11, we have the Smoke, Caveira, and Frost. Used to have a C4 in this game. It was a little bit a while back. I don't know if you guys were playing back then, but eventually they got swapped for impact grenades, just because I think having C4s on operators like that just didn't feel right. But this would be really interesting nowadays. I think if more roamers like Alibi or Cav again would have a C4, that would be really, really cool. But smoking a C4 and canisters, that's a lot of plant denial. But with them having impact grenades, I don't think C4 is going to be coming back on them anytime soon. Coming at number 12, we have the old Blitz spam flash. As you guys remember, there used to be very little to no cooldown on the flashes on his shield, so you were just able to stun your enemies so many times. But nowadays, Blitz rushes are still pretty effective, but you have to wait for your shield to recharge for almost like 5 to 7 seconds, which is enough time to let the enemy kill you. But honestly, I would rather have this meta back, the Blitz shield rush meta days, over the LMG meta we have right now. I would be okay to see if this made a return, but I don't think Blitz is gonna get buffed anytime soon. And coming at number 13, we have one of the most broken gadgets in the entire game. Literally gave people wall hacks, which was Old Lion. People were able to see literal bodies outlines through walls. You're able to wallbang him, and I think in a game like Siege, where you can wallbang almost every wall, it was a little bit frustrating to get wallbanged by Lion. But eventually they were forced to remove this, just because everyone was complaining, pro league, everything. But without you're able to be moving, people can pressure you. So thank God they kind of took this out. Nowadays, I think Lion's low. He still has the same presence, but it was good that Siege had to remove this. And I don't think that is ever going to come back to the game, just how stupid it is. Coming number 14, we have the old Thatcher. As we used to remember, he used to destroy every single gadget in its radius, so that way you weren't able to pick it up. It wouldn't work after that, completely destroyed. But nowadays they made the change where everything just disables for around 10 seconds. But I can see why Thatcher would be banned all the time if he would destroy every gadget like that, so Cade and Bandit would just be irrelevant to the game. But with the change being this powerful, especially with this ban rate, I don't think it's ever going to come back, this old version of Thatcher. And the last one, the 15th one, is the old shield ADS time. As you guys remember, with the old Siege came old movement, so you were able to ADS your shield a lot faster, especially with Blitz and Monty. This was a little bit of OP just because people could sprint and rush at you, and you would have little to no time to react since you have a shield up. But I don't think this change is going to come back anytime soon, just because this was kind of involved with the old movement. But I think old Blitz was definitely a fun time. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know in the comments below what you thought the most broken thing Siege was in the game that Siege was forced to remove. I personally think it was Old Lion. That was kind of a fun time, but be sure to leave a like on the video if you enjoyed. If you're new to my channel, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.